So Scott, how's it going?
It is just so stinking hot in August.
Hot. I'm making money hand over fist, man. I'm in window team. Bring it on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and you can lose a lot of water weight in this weather. It's great.
Oh, man. I think we should talk about this. Hey everybody, my name is Scott Vermillion. This is Randy Bogdan and Jordan Gristy, and they're here visiting with me as resident 7's on the Enneagram, and we want to talk a little bit more about what's going on with a 7. So Randy and Jordan, thanks for coming by. Tell us a little bit about how being a 7 is instructive, helpful, or maybe harmful in your marriage. What are some of the things you see?
D, all the above.
All of the above?
Yeah. Gives me Josie's 1, I'm a 7, so we're able to come at things from a completely different perspective and angle.
Yeah.
And being able to keep things light really helps. By being destructive, I don't take things seriously a lot of times like I should. And that can be very frustrating, as I know. And I think overall it works. It helps me try to being able to put a spin on things when she's down on herself. I can really try to help find an angle to dig her out.
So one of the things I think you bring as a gift is that you can be an encourager, and I think especially as a 1, they need that. They need to get out of that critical thinking and to say, wait a second, it's not all bad, and I think that's a beautiful thing. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I would very much echo that. My wife's 9 and is always trying to make a peacemaker for herself and or keep everyone happy. And she certainly, to be married as a 7 to a 9, it's great because every time I want to go do something, she's always up for it. She just wants to make me happy. So it works out really well for her giving towards me as a 7. But she can get, I think there's what is it, sloth? Is it like sometimes you have a lot of different things going on and whatnot, and I can kind of go in there exactly be the same way of reframing the situation of I have so much to do, I just can't quite get motivated. Yes, and I was like, well, look at it this way, and let's tack this one at a time and get it going here.
Yeah, and I think that could be really helpful for her to get her going. And that's one of this imaginative ingenuity is the way I would call 7s. Like that's the superpower gift, is that you have this grand imagination and it's ingenuitive. You're creating, you're coming up with new possibilities, which is really great for a 1 or a 9 to get them started, because you're always getting started on something. It's easy to get started. Well, tell me, how does it maybe play into a negative? You mentioned earlier that sometimes maybe you don't see or hear the conversation and take it as seriously as it should be taken.
Right. Yeah. It's just taking what's said at face value and not just, if I thought for a second, I could see what's underneath and process it a little differently. I'm like, I'll take it and spin whatever it is right at the top and just keep that top going,
Right.
And,
yeah.
It starts to wobble and it's like, nope, come on,
Yeah.
gotta keep it going. So it takes some practice to know to dive in, like you say, tell me more. Tell me more about that. Let me get into my 5, and that way I can investigate this and know more about it, so I can,
Yeah, because I think the thing that we need to remember for all of our numbers is that pain isn't the objective to find relief for. It's nice, but it's more of what is that pain doing to us? How is it shaping us? And that's the gold, and if we can hang in there and not just kind of find relief for the pain, but to actually say, no, what is this pain doing inside of us, and how is it helping shape us? Well, what about you, Jordan?
Negative side on the marriage, right? Definitely, as we said before, if someone is in pain and someone just needs to process it and wants someone just to be there with them, not help them through it, but just be there with them, that is not my forte. I can easily take someone that's feeling bad and try and help them to feel better, but if they just really don't want me to fix it, they just want me to listen, that's a very different situation for me, and I have to force myself, almost like literally pinch myself and say, listen, don't talk, because I could say, oh, if you looked at it this way, but sometimes they don't want to hear that.
Right. Yeah, just kind of sit on your hands, don't say anything, put the duct tape over, it is. But there's a beauty in that. I know that your heart, I know where you guys are going in that direction. But I think there is a time just to say, okay, stop. Let them share their difficulty, and that they've got the solution to whatever problem that they're facing, not us or you guys in particular. Well, tell me how it works in parenting. Like, what are some of the ways that you have engaged your kids as a 7 that you find, this is really cool, this is helpful?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I have 2 girls, a third about to be on the way, and I'm always up for last minute adventure. I'm always up to do things. Girls sometimes, especially little girls, have their own idea of what fun is, and it's not exactly my idea. And so I really have to search for the overlap, because and the overlap that I find to be the most fun for all of us to do is a question mark. Like, let's just get out of the house. When you get out, where are we going? I don't know. Sky's the limit. Like, we can go to Sonic. We can go do whatever it is. But trying to instill that in my parenting style of like, listen, life's great. Don't sit around and mope. Let's find something. It's something I always try to teach my girls, but it's just hard when they find something that they think's fun, and I'm like, I have to really like buckle down and say, okay, I'm going to do this with you because I'm supposed to be a good father.
Right. Yes. That feels like limiting options.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes. The limiting options begin.
It started with great possibilities and quickly closed the door on that.
Quickly, it's tea time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy to jump in on the fun stuff. Like a boy for one, it helps. But like, if he's playing a video game, we're doing something, I can jump right in and be there for hours. Like, one more game, I can do that.
Yeah.
Just like Josie has 2 kids and Tice has a brother. But then, turn around to the parenting side, I can kind of sit back on one hand and be kind of like observe what Josie's doing and try to say, well, maybe we can do this differently because I'm trying to spin it so it's not so bad. But then she's good at doing the same thing when I go to him, like reactionary, like, oh, this is hard. We can't do this. We got to turn this around. And then when it comes to homework and things like that, it's like, I got to sit down and I got to spend this time. Why don't you get this? And I know you know how to do this. You're just not trying. And it's very frustrating because it's, he's struggling with it. And he's being hard on himself, and I'm trying to cheer him up and get through it at the same time.
That's the difficulty. Trying to homework is going to be the epic confrontation. 2 different styles, 2 different personalities dealing with it, but your heart to encourage. And sometimes learning is difficult.
Absolutely, and I just have to tell him. I was like, when he tries to get down on himself, I was like, come on now, if that's how you're going to be, then let me know when you're ready. Because I'm up here and I'm happy, and I'm going to be helping you happy. You're going to be helping me down here sad.
Well, nobody can learn angry, right? It's just that's a very difficult learning posture to take. Well, tell me how you interact with God. Like, what has been helpful for you in your relationship with God, whether it be a practice or a way of thinking that has helped you to engage God?
A lot of times when I'm in a very dangerous situation, ask God help me through it, keep me safe. I thank Him when I make it through those things. So it's not just like gimme. I'm appreciative of what He's doing. So I'm able to thank Him for a lot of things that happen and go on in my day to day. And we try to make a point of that with Tice too. We just, hey, thanks for a day. We try to bless before every meal. We don't always remember. So that is helpful. And one thing you said in our class this morning was, it's like, well, heaven's better than this. This is my heaven. It's like, yeah, if heaven's not better than this, we're going to be disappointed because we have our expectations up here. It's like, it's going to be better. I know it's better. And then, I'm sitting here thinking how great life is. And it's like, heaven's even better than this. It's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Joy?
I think I got 2 things, because I really resonate with that my gratitude for how great the world is very much directed. It's like, God, I thank you so much for life. I think the gratitude towards in my relationship with Christ has always just keeps on growing. The more things I get to do, the more fun I get to have, the more I'm thankful for it. But another thing that I was surprised with over the last few years was, as a 7, realizing how much I hate when people limit my options. It's amazing how much in my thought process growing up and even through adulthood of how much I limited God. And I kind of put the boxes around him and tried to put him in this structure or way of thinking or whatever it might be, and realizing that, again, there's so many different angles to look at it from, that it in my mind it allowed God to grow even in different ways. And so if it's limiting to me, I can't imagine how limiting it is to him. And so I think it's definitely opened my mind up to new possibilities of how God might work in people and different and just who he is, and just try not to limit that.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a point, both of those for all of us. Well, guys, thanks for sharing some of your feedback on what it means to be a 7. We will be back next week. So if you know a 7 or are a 7 or you have some thoughts or feedback, please put it in the comments, and we'd love to learn from you. Thanks for all you guys are doing and watching this. We hope that it's a blessing to you. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks.